You are listening to the It's Your Time podcast, and I'm your host, Certified Life Coach Michelle Arnold Burke. In today's episode, I'm discussing the recipe to increase your sales. Welcome to the It's Your Time podcast, the podcast where busy professionals like you get the practical solutions and support you need to gain control of your schedule so you can strive to be the best in your career, but without the stress and overwhelm. If you're looking to increase your energy and decrease your stress, you are in the right place. Hello. Welcome back to the podcast, friends. Okay, today I want to talk to you about a process by which you can start increasing your sales numbers. Now, listen, I'm using the example of increasing sales numbers as the result, but you get to take the information and use the concepts for your own goal. So pick one as you listen and then take the recipe that I'm giving you and make it your own. Kind of like the way Rachel Ray rolls, right? She provides the method and then you have fun with it. And I kind of chuckle because Mark says that Rachel Ray saved our marriage. Can you imagine? Oh, the drama, the story. Just kidding. Let me just first back up by saying that my mom always said she was a career woman, and the kitchen, well, that came free with the house. So cooking, not always my thing. In fact, one of the first meals that I made Mark included a chicken breast, and as he started eating it, he asked, "How long did you cook this?" To which I replied, of course, the obvious answer, well, it was $3.54 an hour. Mom used to say, "You are not dying of salmonella poisoning" on her watch. So how does this tie into Rachel Ray saving our marriage? Well, years ago, I had foot surgery and I had a couple days off, so I started watching her. And I realized that cooking can be fun. You just have to get in there, not be afraid that you're going to mess anything up, and start doing it. So I want to encourage you to decide that this can be fun. And don't just listen to me here today. Of course, I appreciate you listening, but I want you to start doing it for yourself. That's when you see the results. And yes, we are working on goals and changing your life, and your brain wants to tell you how scary it all is. And you can just reassure that brain of yours that you are safe and you are here to have some fun along the way. So, a few steps that I want to share with you today for getting to your goal include the first one: be clear on what that goal is. A lot of times we have an idea of what we want, but we are not fully crystal clear on what it looks like. So, if you say, "I want to increase my sales numbers," what does that mean? Does it mean 5% over last quarter? Does it mean 10% over last year? And then what is that number when you do the math? Break it down. How many items do you need to sell in order to get to that number? I know it might seem a bit obvious, but I think sometimes we just think, "Oh, I know what that is. It's more. It's more than last year. It's more than last quarter." But you wouldn't just say when you're telling somebody about your menu, "Oh, I'm making Italian tonight." You might start there, but then you have to decide, what is the dinner? Is it lasagna? Is it spaghetti? Is it something entirely different? You have to get so specific in the beginning. And I want to encourage you to also write the goal down. If you can write it down and remind yourself daily of it, it helps to wire your brain and stay focused on what the tasks at hand are going to be for the day. And a very important key to this recipe is that you have to then work from the goal, not towards the goal. A lot of us have been programmed to work towards the goal, right? And we take all of these actions, and sometimes we fully might not even understand why we're doing all of this stuff. We just want to make sure that we're staying busy because we're on our way to that goal. But I want you to take a moment and perhaps take some time to think about what it would be like to already have achieved the goal. Consider what that looks like for you. Take time to really get clear on what the goal is, and then take a couple of moments to think about how you will feel when you accomplish the goal. Will you feel proud? Or maybe it's successful or confident? And then you work to keep that feeling all along the way of getting to the goal. You take action from the feeling of confident or successful, that feeling that you are working from already achieving the goal. So whatever that feeling was for you. A lot of times we think, I'll feel successful when I get it. And then we feel stressed and overwhelmed all along the way. There really is something to that saying, enjoy the journey. Literally, you're wiring your brain as you go. You may have noticed that stress and overwhelm are not always the best feelings to fuel positive action. We don't get positive results from negative feelings. Now, with that, there will be days when you might not feel confident or proud or motivated. And the next part of the recipe is to be willing to feel your backup plan feelings, which might be determined, committed, or simply willing. Be willing to keep doing the steps. It might not always feel exciting and motivating. And you know what? That's okay. Be willing to keep going to get to your goal. And I want to take a moment to say something here, because if your goal is more along the lines of a personal goal, you have to not allow your brain to tell you it's not worth it, or you should be doing more for work. I mean, think about something like weight loss. You decide you want to lose some weight, or maybe it's just simply cleaning up your eating, which I need to work on, by the way. I just was told I have some high cholesterol, which was shocking to me. But that's for another date. So let's say we're working on cleaning up our eating, or even exercising more. But there comes a day when you might hear some thoughts like, I'm not really sure what I should do next. And actually, that thought, I'm not sure what I should do next, could come up for both personal and professional goals. Or maybe it's simply, I just don't want to do this today. Or work is more important today. And that moment, when you hear yourself say, you don't want to do it, or work is more important, you have to call BS on yourself, especially if this is a self-care goal. Listen, there are days when we don't want to even go to work, and we still do. There will be days when you think you shouldn't spend time taking care of yourself, and you still will. Become that person that is willing to take the time to take care of herself. And I am telling you, everything else around you will benefit. A lot of times, it's just easier for us to just keep going, back into the world of busy. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable with taking the time to take care of the goals that you have set for yourself. Be willing to continue on personally or professionally, even when you don't feel motivated, even when you think you should be doing something else. And you know what happens? Usually you start taking the action steps, and as you go, you start to build the momentum. Remember, our brain is designed to avoid pain, seek pleasure, and be as efficient as possible. So if you're taking the new steps towards making a change in your life, it will likely feel uncomfortable. That doesn't mean stop. It often means you are right on track. And when we're talking about increasing sales numbers, some of that discomfort might look like calling on new clients, making cold calls that you haven't done in a long time, or maybe delegating, perhaps saying no to some of the clients who suck your time and drain your energy, right? You know you all have them, in order to find new clients who want to grow. You will not get new results doing the same things over and over. Your brain will try to keep you safe and comfortable, of course. So then the next part of the recipe is that you have to be onto yourself when that happens. Let's just take a moment and do a quick recap. First, set the goal in a crystal clear way. Next, understand the feelings that you want. And then, of course, you must add a large dash of belief in here. You must believe it before you achieve it. Most of us have this backwards. We think, I'll believe it when I see it. It's not how it works. You have to keep believing even when you don't see evidence for it in the moment. You have to believe and then add the concept of being onto yourself every time you come up with an obstacle. Watch your brain, and I chuckle because I hear folks on my team even tell me something along the lines of, well, the problem is. To which, of course, I have to say, okay, that's great news. If we know the problem, we can look for the solution. And as you find the solution for every obstacle that comes up, guess what happens? You make your way that much closer to the goal. A lot of times, folks think that obstacles, that just means we're at the end. We can no longer keep going on. But can you even imagine if as kids, when we were learning to walk, we fell down and then said, well, guess it's not meant to be. I just keep falling down. I guess I'll just sit here for now and I'll believe I can walk when I see it. No, you got back up, you grabbed a couch or a parent or a table, you fell down, you got back up. You didn't let that stop you from learning how to walk. And here is the last part that I want to share with you today. When I talk about being willing, I'm not only talking about being willing to do the work, even in those moments when you don't feel like it. I'm also talking about being willing to fail. I know, for all my overachieving perfectionist friends out there, I get it. I still work on this. We have to redefine what failure means. It is simply not meeting an expected outcome. I want to suggest that you consider failing learning. So many people actually fail in advance because you don't even try out of fear of looking dumb or disappointing others, whatever it is that you make failing mean. Be open to considering maybe it's learning. Maybe it is a tremendous learning opportunity, and when you know better, you do better. So that the next time you try a new goal, maybe it's even something along similar lines, you have more information. It's a new version of you attempting it, and now you can do it a little bit differently and again, learn. Don't allow your brain to tell you things like, well, we tried that before and it didn't work. Listen, you also used to go to the bathroom in your diaper, right? It took a couple of attempts, I imagine, and you figured out a better way to do that, didn't you? Like, seriously, there are many ways to do everything in life. You have to be willing to try again. We have been so programmed in the school systems from our family to get an A. And F's, OMG, F's are terrible. And I know for me, growing up, I got $1 for every A from my Aunt Betty. She was like the grade fairy equivalent of the tooth fairy, I guess, as I'm looking back. But this year, I decided to make a change. I decided to offer something different as the crazy aunt of the family, right, to one of our nieces. She just turned 13, and we all know how challenging it can be to be a teenage girl, right? Well, maybe not all of us, but most of us. They tend to care so much about what everyone thinks. Side note, still, in the 40s and plus, we often still care what many people think. So this is why I'm attempting to change this at an earlier age for her, with all of the doubt and all of the questioning and caring about friends. So I offered to pay her for each failure. I know, I know when I suggested it to her parents, I was like, hold on, stay with me. I'm not saying she'd get F's in school necessarily, but let's say she has an opportunity for some big goal that she wants, but she's afraid she'll fail. If she lays out the plan and takes the actions and does a little review at the end of the process of what worked, what didn't work, and what can she do next time, we'll pay her. Money talks, right? I think it's going to be so much fun. She's just starting this week. So feel free to take that idea for your little ones, and I will keep you posted how it goes. Now, I'm not paying all of you to fail, but know that I am for sure here cheering you on. And of course, you know you can always reach out on the socials with any questions at Michelle Burt Coaching, and let me know how it's going. If you want one-on-one help with this, I am actually just starting a new beta program for this summer, which is going to be a ridiculous deal. If you want to learn more, get on my email list, michelleburtcoaching.com/summer 2022. You'll get on the wait list, and then you'll learn more as it gets closer to opening. Now, as I close, I want to wrap up this recipe with a very important thing to consider. You must know your why when you're working on this recipe. Think about when you decide to make a meal. You usually have a reason that you have chosen it, right? Maybe it's an anniversary dinner or a cocktail party or a 4th of July barbecue, whatever it is for you. Notice how my brain goes to just the special events that I'm actually cooking. Anyhow, you know your reason why you are choosing the recipe. You must know your reason why you are choosing your goal. It has to be compelling in order for you to keep going when you do face the challenges. And I have past podcasts on compelling reasons. You can go back and check out if you want to learn more on that as well. So know your why. Get clear on the goal. Understand the feelings that you will feel when you get to it and take action from those feelings. Remember, you're working from the goal, not towards it. Have a side of willingness, both to do the work and to fail, and a huge dash of belief. And be honest to yourself. When your brain wants to tell you to go back into the cave and remain comfortable in your current setup, you know better. And of course, then you start taking action. Add a little more action, sprinkle in a little more belief, add a little more action. You get the idea, right? You keep going. Okay, friends. Again, if you want to learn more about the summer beta program I'm doing, it still involves one-on-one coaching and 24/7 access to coaching. The intention is really going to be to knock your goal out of the park in the most efficient way. So get on the email waitlist, michelleburtcoaching.com/summer 2022. As always, there are limited spots and you will want to be the first to know. My email list is always the first to know everything. So get on there no matter what. Okay, that's what I have for you today. Let's circle back next week. But for now, make it a great day. Take care. Did you know you can take this work to a deeper level with me one-on-one? Go to michelleburtcoaching.com and click on Get Started to begin.